Welcome to the Roy Anthony and
every
Friends Show.
Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all tap in.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Is
Anthony
anybody out
Show
there?
is the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank and Cynthia. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank and Cynthia. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's where we can kick
every Tuesday.
Everything is going
every
down.
Thursday.
They about to do the most. It ain't a confrontation, it's a conversation, homie. Yo, on the weekends, Roy Anthony
every
Show. It's during the week, homie.
What it do? What it do? What it do? Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show podcast. My co-stars be popping in. That's Miss Cynthia Joy Towner, Mr. Hank Norman. We call him Big Hank Norman. We represent the WO Entertainment platform, which it's just sad to say that this is last week of the Roy Anthony's season 10 and the last show for the WO Entertainment platform. And we've just been grateful. We've been having a nice long run with it, and it's time to move up to bigger things. So, but the WO, which was ran by our main producer, Richie King, aka Redneck Pimp, along with the co-creator Goose. And then we have our social producers that made everything click and work for us. That's Blue Phoenix, my man Nathan Daly. Then we'd like to give a shout out to our good neighbors, good friends of ours. That's the BB Nation back with veterans based out of Oregon. The Long Beach All-Stars based out of Southern California, Long Beach, Linwood, Compton, and Watts. Then the WO Entertainment family and our personal friends. The WO family is based around the U.S. in different parts of countries, and then our own personal family, friends, associates, and those who don't even like us. We want to say, what's up, Carl's? Just me say, hey, y'all, what's up with you, bro? Carl said, just me. What's good, brother? Just me, 67 days. 67 days, man. Just me said, Carl. And Carl said, man, 67 days, brother. Hello, y'all. Carl, good morning, brother. Hope all is well, man. I'm doing very well, man. And I want to tell everybody in this stuff. If anybody been paying attention, is that my man Carl, sometimes he can come on the show and come in, but him and his wife Caitlin got married, and they got married July the 14th. And yours truly, I'm not a person who knows how to go get gifts. And then the way I was trying to get it and make it done, I learned a lot of stuff. And you got to make sure you put in right addresses and zip codes and stuff. And then you got to make sure you check your email, check your track. When you sending somebody something, the people who sending out something may need something from you, and you didn't pay attention to it. Hey, what's up, Carl Alverson? Hello, brother. What's up with you? That's wild, man. What's up with you and stuff, man? Like once again, I said this is the last week of the Roy Anthony Show podcast for the WO Entertainment platform. The WO is shutting down, and so Richie King, which is on every Tuesday, he'll be on this evening. He's going to be breaking it down more, and everybody can say, go from there. Carl said, "Oh, brother, I'm pretty sure I gave you the wrong address, or I wrote it out the wrong way." No, no, I don't think it was on you. It wasn't on you and stuff. I checked it out. Roy's an engineer, not a logistics expert. That's what I'm saying. I can build up your land, your property and stuff like that. But hey, I'll be like, take the number and stuff. And I found out you can't even copy paste certain things. I'm a copy paste person, so I keep it moving. certain things actually want you to type it in there. And that was a little problem that I was having. But you know what, man? We're getting close to the election, and I've always liked to speak facts, and I want everyone to know that I listen and I pay attention. Now, I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican. I'm a free American. And it doesn't mean, no, I was migrated here and, no, I've been, my family goes generations. And when I say generations, we're going to get on that because today's conversation is about we talking on some of this and some of that. It's a shame sometimes I feel like I can't, we claim us country, but sometimes we have different cultures within the country, and sometimes certain cultures think that they are better of being American than others that's in this same, culture. One thing we have in common is we're Americans. I'm gonna go beyond that. One thing is we're humans, but we're gonna split it by the waters and all that. The boundaries is I'm a U.S. Citizen. I am born into America. Just like a lot of us are who we some of our grandparents or anything. But if you've been here a generation, whether you served or not, you are United States American, especially if you're born in America and your family. Carl said, I do podcasts all year, and we got to talk, bro. That was something we're gonna get on. And so I would that politics and stuff, we all need to talk on the side and really come down and put things to the side. Any bad miscommunication or bad feelings about anything, we should put it to the side and try to work to a common good, because we need to make sure that the truth keep getting out. I've been listening, and I'm gonna be honest, one of the things I don't like when they try to make me believe that it's this side is playing the race card, but then the one when you're telling me if I don't vote for this particular person, I must be against that because um because since I'm black and that person is supposed to be identified with black, I should go with them. I don't do it like that. See, if I'm gonna talk about someone getting to know me besides the complexion of my color, I'm never going to get nowhere because I'm just as misguided as that person who probably has more of the power, who's thinking the same way, except he has the power and the strength to be able to execute his his ideology of way of thinking. So I don't let race come into that, probably because I learned from former President Barack Obama. I'm just keeping it 100. And then I found that I'm not alone with the way I was thinking, because of black men in America, votes have been declining since former President Barack Obama, because things did not come out the way we wanted. You can look at the polls yourself of how many people voted, how many black men voted the first 4 years of President Barack Obama. And once again, nothing that make us feel like, hey, and we ain't telling anybody. I don't like this when we have a history of knowing that this particular group has been mistreated, but we don't want to identify it in our own land, but we want to identify it in other countries where they're putting people through the ringer and all this stuff. And my push is American humanity, where we all got a part to play. People say, you need to read the U.S. Constitution. So I read it, and then I find that the person who was telling me to isn't in line with what they've been telling me to read. I guess they didn't think I was going to read it. And one of the things that stuck out which is here we are 220, 50 years of being a country where the old government has played out because we live in more of a modern times in technology of thinking. If you woke, oh well, don't be ashamed. Don't let people embarrass you talking about because you got knowledge. Just me said, hell, I voted for Obama the first time. See, I think, and it didn't work out. It seemed like to me, we cry about major corporations doing this, but it seemed like that's what they did. They built that out. And see, and then people play that. I can't stand that spiritual that try to involve it with spirituality. This is choice. We as human beings have choice. The angels can't, they don't have choice. We are special because as human beings, you have choice. You have the choice to do good or evil. We have freedom of thoughts. That's why we fight against those who oppress against me to say and feel the way I want to. Okay, so here it is. Former President Barack Obama, I was voting thinking that we was going to get our fair share of reparations, adjustments of the Social Security, especially us blacks who a lot of land has been taken from us, of people from the late 60s through the 70s. There was a run through with that. If you look, you can see something that was happening in the 80s with the insurance companies, with the death barrel and stuff. The game is constantly going. It's just different people, different faces. There's nothing new under the sun. So we, in 2009, expected that it was going to have something new under the sun, something that was going to actually benefit the Black Americans along with us whole Americans. And it didn't work out like that. It seemed like it worked out for the LBQ community, but it didn't really work out for me. Now, prior to this, will shock a lot of people. Which I told you, I'm not Republican or Democrat. I voted for George W. Bush Jr. and stuff, and I felt good on my vote until he went to war with Iraq, and I was like, man, it costs a lot of money. We put us in a slight recession. But then I voted for Barack Obama because I just knew that we're going to solve this recession, and he's going to help a lot of the small businesses and everything, and put out. 8 years went by. So then, I voted. I'm a constantly vote, but when former President Donald Trump ran against Hillary Clinton, I voted for, you have 5 alternates. I wrote in Bernie Sanders. If he only got 2 votes in the U.S., hey, Bernie, I believe in you, boy. That's my man, Blue. That's my boy, Blue. Obama didn't work out. His VP, Joe Biden, is Obama V2O. Kamala would be more of the same. Well, I'm going to say this, though. Now, I'm going to say this in behalf of President Joe Biden. And everybody seemed to forget. President Joe Biden did something I've never seen a Democrat do. And that's why you have never seen me say, the only thing I've really been about was the monies given to Ukraine. But, I had to get back and the Lord got them, because sometimes we always want to say we got to appreciate what we got. President Joe Biden did something I've never seen a Democrat president or anybody in Democratic office do. This is usually what a Republican does, is that he gave infrastructure bill for highway, bridges, and broadband to areas that don't get the internet. Now, you got to deal with your state on that because each state was given so many amount of billions. California, even though we legalized cannabis, was given $25 billion for working and reconstruction roadways, bridges, and broadband. Same was Texas, Missouri. They got $17.3 billion. Kansas got $9.8 billion. Every state in the United States. But yet you want to call them Sleepy Joe and all that. And that's so disrespectful because there's not one person who's listening and trying to realize that, wow, you're living in a time where only why you don't have a job is because you don't want to work. That's real deal. You can use, oh, well, I have mental situations. Okay, well, let that be known. Don't say you didn't have no job. You know, that infrastructure bill, we got to go to our governors. Hey, where's this money at? No, but he went on a tour, just me. I heard what I see. He said, believe it or not, he didn't do that. Congress did it, but he has to pass it. Then President Joe Biden went on a tour to let you know what he did. Come on now. See, we want to be forgiven for every single thing we do, but sometimes we want to hold people accountable, but we don't want to give them, you know, the benefit of the doubt. You know, it amazes me. Now, remind you, I'm not who I'm gonna vote for, but it amazes me when I seen some black dudes I know chirp about how they was giving $1,200 a month. And it seemed like Democrats, it reversed because former President Donald Trump was giving out stimulus packages because they shut down their. And I thought to myself, what the world's $1,200 a month do? Because it was good times for those who only depends on $200 a month. These are people who sleeps in the garages of their old aunties. They don't even have a car. These are, so when they got $1,200 a month, yes, they still get the vote. God reigns on the just as well as the unjust. We all get the vote. And he said Congress votes on the bill. The president can sign or veto the bill. The hard part is getting the bill passed in Congress. And see, this is another thing, but the infrastructure bill did go through, though, just me. Each state did go through. Tell me what the state of Ohio got, because I know Missouri got 17.3 billion. I know Kansas got 9.8 billion. I know state of California got $25.5 billion. This was allocated from the government. And I've been kind of coming hard because I'm so selfish, you know, that American entitlement, it infects us all. Why are you giving this money to the Ukrainians? What about us? But then I look and say, wow, wait a minute. There's so many jobs out there. And I forgot about it because you got short memory when it comes to somebody doing something good to you. You never notice how long we can remember something's done bad to us. But as soon as something's good to us, we can't, we back the next day. It ain't nothing. Let's keep it 100. I said, you know, you heard me say earlier that my family goes back from beyond 1660 here in America when we was known as Blackfoots. And a lot of people are acquainted with Moors. And sometimes if you don't know exactly what we're talking about, let me break this out. Let me share something with you. This is just a conversation. I'm going to share something with you.
We now know for a fact that long before Columbus, there were 4 major migrations of blacks to the Americas, different parts of the Americas. The most recent of these took place about 400 years before Columbus was even born, and it's all outlined in a marvelous book over there. It's called The Golden Trade of the Moors. And it is now known that the West African Kingdom of Mali had huge fleets of merchant vessels, and that these kings, these black kings of West Africa, began sailing across the Atlantic to Mexico as early as 900 AD.
I've been trying to tell you, man, there's more. There's more. You got to check it out. I've been saying it because I found out, like, on my father's side, we was originated from the coast of North Carolina. In North Carolina, it comes up off the Gulf. And so when there's a current that takes you from Africa to South America, You can look it up yourself, and Just Me said, that's what I'm saying. It's not like he thought this up all by himself and passed money out. Congress did that. Did you know how many bills just sit in Congress? How long did the Agent Orange bill sit? But you know what? And I had family members who died from that, from the Agent Orange. Columbus was lost. He thought he was in India. That's why he called the Native Americans Indians. I know, man. And he was drunk. I mean, what got me is that I deal with GPS, GIS a lot. I got some deep stories on how we use GPS. I was part of the team that actually originated where people actually use GPS on their cell phones now. For real, I went before they had devices because that came from a PlayStation idea. But this man was delegating off for his tracks, his maps was upside down. And you cannot discover something if there's somebody already inhabited in that. That's the biggest. Look, I always picture like here's you go in an area and you land, and you don't know nothing about this spot. It's not even located on the map because no one knew it. Now you discovered it. But somebody's actually helping you dock your boat. Just Me said, I sailed all over the planet. I was drunk as much as I could be. Laugh out loud. But you didn't have the whole crew around based up on where you wanted to go. You wasn't over the nauticals and all that stuff. You didn't do it while you was drunk. They gonna wait till you sober up, or you gonna get court-martialed for real. But man, let me explain. Just because I'm black doesn't mean that I'm voting black. I did that one time before because the second time former President Barack Obama ran, I voted for him, and I really paid attention to Mitt Romney too. But Mitt Romney didn't have no plan or nothing. He was just there as a roadblock, and there it was. Now, like people said, do I see, somebody said, well, were you going to vote for oppression? Look, if oppression was something that people voted on, then I sure can't be mad at the president. I got to be mad at the people who voted. Because I grew up in oppression. I was a Black American. Yes, I've been stopped in my car. Everybody would say, I was stopped because I was driving black. That's just real. When I was a kid, I was taught by my mother when we was a little kid, when we go to the department stores, take your hands out your pockets. They won't be thinking you stealing something. For real. We was thought of as guilty. And they made the rest of my neighbors, my white neighbors, wouldn't know. They could only go by hearsay. It's just like somebody told me that they ran into Bigfoot. I never ran into Bigfoot, so I could only go by the stories that in the way he paints the story, he was 8 feet tall. He was woolly and mammoth. I'm be like, whoa. Because I'm only going by his description. Just Me, so I can't honestly say I didn't have a 2-liter of Coke that smelled a little strong in my rack. But I'm being honest though. As everyone watches this show, I'm Roy Anthony. I am a Black American. Is what they say. I am a Black American. I identify with the Black family. I'm a soul food cooker. Love collard greens. I'm also I read. I've been reading since I was 4. My mother made me read encyclopedias, and we had to go to bed listening to multiplication albums. 2 times 2 is 4. You 4 or 5 years old, you got to hear this, and then you got to answer them. If you don't answer them, you're gonna get a spanking and still go to bed. I learned the 7s, 8s, and 9s in a horrific way, but I learned them. Can't tell me what 9 times 9. I'll quickly tell you it's 81. You understand me? But anyway, I'm educated. I can express myself. But I'm also a survivalist who knows how to survive off of what's given to me. We couldn't afford instruments in our neighborhood, so guess what? We took old records and spent them and put them off the different speeds and made songs off of what we could. And next thing you know, we rap it off of. Next thing you know, they call everything we do, we hoodlums. But we don't have the contract to go into the countries and get the dope and bring it over here and have the contracts with the ammunition manufacturers so we can get the bullets that we need. So we talk to these gun makers and let them, so we can get this stuff and set it off. If we got that capability, I'm pretty sure we wasn't designated to just one neighborhood. I'm like Pinky and the Brain. They be like, Pinky be like, hey, Brain, what are you doing to do tomorrow? I'm trying to figure out how to take over the world. I'm just telling you, let your vote be a God, because guess what? There's only one God you're going to serve. You know what? I don't fault President Donald Trump. He grew up in the spoon, you know, and you see him coming. And guess what? He deals with the majority of the people. The majority of the people felt a certain way, you know, his skin is thick. What gets me is that they try to push down to my throat because I'm a black man. Then, oh, you ain't black. What? I think that's insulting to me, especially when it's someone who's not even black and tell me who I'm. What? How the world you gonna tell me? That's why I'm letting my hair grow. I keep telling everybody I'm about to be Cuban in a couple of years. I'm just going to be speaking. Yes, sorry, man. What? You ain't gonna know what I'm saying. I can't even have an interpreter. They're gonna just think I'm Cuban. Yeah, Biden said that. Now lately, former President Barack Obama was on a Democrat tour pushing for Kamala, and he said something kind of like that, and it stroked some people the wrong way. I'm gonna share this with everyone. This it kind of stroked some people, and I was like, you know what? I see where this is Stephen A. Smith, who works for ESPN, and I want to share. I got to share his screen. I want to share this what he was saying, and I was like, wow. And you know, I keep it with sports and stuff. But you know, check out what he had to say, man. This was a trip to me. Check him out.
However, we are just like every other American in this country who wants a good paying job that we can provide for our children and participate in their lives and the lives of our partner, that we can get them home safely, afford to go to the grocery store, save a little for retirement, and have a vacation. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that explanation, Khalil Thompson. Why didn't you say that from the jump? What's up with the misogyny comments? I will have you know, and President Obama, our 44th president of the United States, who I voted for not once but twice, who was the president from 2009 to 2017, who to me was exemplary, who to me had the greatest first lady in the history of this country, who has been a phenomenal role model to black people and to black men and the men across this globe. That same Barack Obama, how could you say something like that? How could you ignore the facts that are lying in front of all of us? You don't want Trump to be president. We think that Trump could be an unmitigated disaster. In my opinion, he'll be on a revenge tour. In my opinion, there's a lot of things he bloviated about and didn't deliver on. We don't want to get into too much about COVID. We don't want to get into too much about him overblowing his contribution to HBCUs, the wall that he was going to build, and the Mexican was going to pay for it. He ended up building 2% of the wall, and the Mexicans didn't pay a dime. We could get into a whole bunch of stuff about him. That's a given. I understand that. But let's get back to the part about black men. That's what we're going to talk about right now. That's what we're going to talk about. President Obama, why didn't you tell the folks with the cameras rolling and the black men in attendance that there's been diminishing black voters, particularly black men, since you were in office? In 2008, 95% of the black populace voted for Barack Obama. It dipped in 2012 by about 6 to 8%. It dipped another 6% in 2016 when Hillary was running. It dipped even more.
Let me remove this. I just want to get that. I want to share that. I don't, see, sometimes people listen to somebody who's black, who's been grilled by the ones who, is speaking for, like Byron Donaldson. He's Trump's people. I don't knock that. I don't knock people who click with each other. They say two or three's gathered together. If they touch it and agreeing, God is one. He says he's amongst them. He said the quiet part out loud. They're scared to death that Trump's going to hold them accountable. That's why they're trying to take him out. I don't know who's trying to take out who, because this could be different than see, we going into day, because Republicans are working with Kamala Harris. I just seen this. I was been reading it for the past 3 weeks about Republicans for Trump. For Kamala, Mitt Romney, Liz Cheney. I pay attention. I just look like this. I wear hoodies and stuff, because see, un-Americans are the ones who are just kill Americans for no reason. Like Zimmerman, when you killed the young American. My thing is about everyone being held accountable. I don't want to hear that your uniform made you have a distinction where I don't have that same distinction, even though I got the right to carry my weapon. If I kill somebody and they wasn't a threat to me, I should be held accountable. I'm being real. I'm not going to like it. I don't like to be in that situation, but Lord forbid it does. I got to be held accountable. You got to be held accountable for anything we do. We held as human beings, period. You reap what you sow. If you trying to hate and you just thinking about your own household, but then you wonder why you can't mesh with the rest of the world or your community or whatever, because you so isolated and selfish to your own household. We used to be where the different households would come together on Sundays. It had to be Thanksgiving. Say we're gonna have dinner at Susie Mae's in them house this Sunday. Everybody bring him something. Men talking on the side. Basically our own community council. But we so isolated and stuff. We hoping one of us, somebody get the lotto. And then once they win it, they ain't gonna tell you jack nothing. They're gonna disappear in the middle of the night. Because guess what? This is what this world, all those people that's suing Diddy, you knew how Diddy was through the rumors 20 years ago. It was I was surprised because he was getting arrested, but all that stuff been known 20 years ago. People ignored it because you rather get that money. And best believe some of them guys and stuff, like when I seen the one dude, Cuban Gooding was touching, Cuban Jr. was touching on the guy, and he kept talking about, man, go on, stop, man, stop. What? Look here. Dude just did his hand like this on my shoulder. situation is turned very abrupt at that time. Very abrupt. It'd be for real. By the time it's all over, his fingers will be all like for real. You ain't gonna just put your hands on my shoulder and I'm gonna just be stop, man, stop touching me. Okay. He said the only thing I worry about is my household. What you do in yours is your business. Yeah. What I'm saying is now I'm talking about when you were talking about with this when we're voting or when we're talking about prosperity in the house. Now, with of course, that's why I tell people I'm not homophobic. I just don't hang, I work with gay people as far as a job, assembly boxes. You don't know who it is. But when at the work, I go about my business. They went about theirs. I really didn't care. Richie King says, "CEO Roy says laugh out loud. He's stupid." Richie, he got all the emoji faces, laughing emoji faces and stuff. Man, like I'm like next Saturday, October the 26th, I have a show in Long Beach at the American Legions, representing our veterans. I tell people I do something for the veterans any chance I get. So I'll be at the American Legion in Long Beach, October the 26th. And I always try to be where, first I'm thankful to our veterans. But what we have to do though, and I was bringing this up, is really take concern. I'm tired of hearing gripes. I'm for real. Some of the gripes is over and over and over. I'm not saying I'm not empathetic to the needs of it, but sometimes we have to sit back ourselves. If the Constitution, the United States Constitution, somebody told me, why don't you read the Constitution? When I read it, I started realizing that the people who told me to read the Constitution didn't read it themselves, because it states that if this government fails us, we, the people, have the power to demolish it and to start anew. We, for one, let's make it where the Senate is based out of general populated people, 6 people from each state. That's 6 times 50. So that's what, 300 delegates. 300 delegates is sitting there, and then the lawyers write up everything that we came to make sure that it's wrote in a way that it should be substantial for court, like they do for any legal situation. He said, getting ready to make another batch, Roy, you had to come over. Okay, know what he talking about. That good, you say that, but you look down at those on January. No, I don't look down at them. I even said earlier, they should be held accountable. I have never looked down at them. I never say they're some idiots or anything like that. No, I've never said that. Only thing I did say is that they was like legions. They let the demons invade them. Legion was a demon in the Bible, and he said they call me Legion because there are many. One thing about me, I will never ever look down at somebody, because God made us all equal. Now, what we do is listen to the thoughts, but I never will look down at them. I just feel like you got to take your consequences. Congrats, you just explained the House of Representatives. I'm and for real, I think it should just be the House of Representatives is like it's supposed to be 6 delegates of each one. We agree. And I totally with you, just me. I'll just be trying to make a fact and make a point so everybody can say I wasn't trying to talk over somebody, because I can use some educated words. And then, Big Hank isn't here to help me with pronunciation, but I do know where I'm at with it. You know what I'm saying? It's in the Constitution. We can overthrow the government and start anew. But see, we don't want to do it in this aggressive way. I think that this is where we take a poll. This is when we take a vote. This is when we say, hey, we the people decide we want this and stuff. But then, because see, we don't want to make laws that'll benefit because you only know how to live one particular way. The six got to be like, we got to have a white, a black, a Latino, an Asian, somebody representing straight, and somebody representing gay. Even though I don't think sexuality has to do with it, but it seems like our world is coming to that because I think we need to have. I was going to say this next Saturday. House is based on census in those states. That part I got you. Do you think those in DC will put that on the ballot? That's career suicide. I don't know. Have a good show, y'all. See you all later, Dr. Dago. Or see you later, Richie. Now, and let me tell you though, man, that's the thing. Career suicide. What? Because you took a chance? That's what's wrong right now. What you just said, just me. We don't need to wait for the DC ballot. When we got 100 million people, you will be. They hear us. We take a ballot. We force it because we're trying to let those people put it on the ballot who we're trying to dismantle. You feel me? Yeah. We trying to shut down this restaurant, but good luck with you trying to get a sandwich. That's why we have to think intellectually. We can't go in. We got to get where other people in agreement. The people ran in January 6th. I wasn't in agreement with that. And a lot of people I know wasn't in agreement with that. Now you think that I'm gonna follow through with y'all? What you just told me is that if you did it that way, then we're gonna end up doing it to you. You know, now we got to do this democratic now. We working in a democracy now, just me. We got to keep it 100. We can't be selfish, but we do have to have laws, bylaws. Stop lying for the politics because okay. See, this is one of the things, and I dug in deeper, and I'm glad I'm on this part of the hour. Everyone listen to me. We got to stop it right when you see it. They always try to cause racist stuff, and I don't care what candidate. It should have never even been a subject in the debate about Springfield, Ohio, and about the subjects were illegal immigrants. And really, if former President Donald Trump would have stayed with the script about it, because Vice President Kamala Harris don't have no answer for the border. She's been trying to talk about that stuff as she was a U.S. attorney, all that stuff. The thing she knew was prison. But anyway, he gave her a break by bringing up the cats and dogs. Now, you got some people with low IQs out there, and I'm talking about of all races, that actually has been as. You know what gets me is when people are so perfect that they want to scourge somebody else's household. They living so well that look here. So I've been looking up Springfield just because Just Me said. I've really been looking it up. And I dug up into their local news and stuff like that. Man, stop. The illegal immigrants is not the Haitians, because Haitians in Springfield, Ohio are legal immigrants. The illegal immigrants is we got 217,000 Ukrainians here since the war started with Russia and Ukraine, but y'all ain't said one thing about it. And guess what I found is that some of them know how to make meth. Some of them know how to make fentanyl. Ain't no poor person from Mexico learning how to bring up no fentanyl. They just called a group which was a bunch of white guys. That's what it said. Some of them looked like they could be Ukrainians. Had 10 pounds of fentanyl and meth. Now, they're in a protected status. They aren't legal or illegal. No, these are legal immigrants in Springfield, Ohio. The Haitians came over as legal under a program. Now, you may say, oh, well, they don't have the purpose. They came through a legal program. They didn't pop up in Springfield. Springfield celebrated them. And if I would have been talking with or been an advisor for President Trump on the debate, I would have been like, hey man, you don't want to talk about that because these people are illegal. Let's talk about the illegal immigration of Europeans. But see, y'all don't want to see that because the ones that they ain't talking about looks like them. They don't come out like us blacks and rednecks. They sit up here like, yeah. Up there used to drinking some coffee. Their president was the voice for Paddington Bear too. I tried to watch it. I couldn't stand that stuff 2 minutes. I'd rather watch Home Alone. But they still, so look here, I dug in deeper. And, and don't help when you're dealing with lies. You don't have to conquer no one with a lie. Just be honest. It should have never been brought up. This has never been a conversation because why I get upset about it is because we're talking about children's when schools are being threatened with bombs. Still to this day, I have a problem with that. When a lie is snowballing. See, no one feels it unless it hits your home. So I wanted to really see what some Springfield, Ohio residents feel and not some that look like me. I don't want to hear from the Haitians and none of all that. I want to hear how real citizens was feeling out there. And it was amazing. This is what I found. Check this out.
Born in Springfield and I've lived here most of my life. I can't believe these Haitian immigrants would come here and fill jobs that local Springfield residents would not or could not do. And now they've raised the average city wage for both Springfield and Clark County. They're paying income tax to the city that the city desperately needs for services. They're making some of the local losers look bad by their example. It's unbelievable. The Haitian immigrants are working overtime to save up money to buy up all the dilapidated, condemned, and boarded up homes in Springfield, then fixing those houses up to make them livable again. This is raising property values across the city and county to the point where the valuation of all real estate in the city surpassed $1 billion last year for the first time ever. This in turn increases the property taxes paid to Clark County for those homes that are now no longer boarded up nuisances. I can't believe they're helping to fund our government and beautify our neighborhoods. These Haitian immigrants are now spending money in our community to where new restaurants and retail spaces keep opening up across the city. What absolute madness. Now we have new businesses in town generating more tax revenue for our city and county. I have a good paying job with great benefit, but because I have main character syndrome and the entire world should revolve around me, I want the exorbitant benefits that some of these Haitian immigrants get, which is $292 for SNAP, aka food stamps, and $363 in cash per month for a single adult. Everyone knows that $655 per month lets you live like a millionaire in Springfield. I don't need it, but I want it before anyone else, because why should we help folks who have legally come to our country, but they have to wait for their work permit so they don't starve? Feeding the hungry in our community? This is lunacy.
I'm just keeping 100, man. Yeah, not one person brought up race at the council meeting except for the council members. Ukraine is leaving a war-torn country. What war is going on, man? Hey, come on, man. War is war. They look here. They weren't even in a war-torn country. The war was starting, and they came over here. Haiti was hit with earthquakes. You don't remember when they killed the presidency and all that stuff? They actually, their January 6th stuff actually went through over there. It was that's a war. That's called a civil war. For real. And Mexico, we all one country. Why would I want to, what's so important to Ukraine than the country of Mexico and the other southern, I told you, we should build a continent alliance. Ain't no country in the world going to mess with you having an alliance. We got the United States of America, we got South America, and we got Canada, and we just build one big alliance. Who's going to mess with us? They don't mess with us now, with the United States. Let's say we strengthen up our neighbors and our countries. Why are we way over there in Ukraine? Anything we can do to poke Putin in the back or poke him, like poking a bear. Just leave the man alone. For real. And the thing is, we don't want to say it. Okay, guess what? When World War I, it was treating black soldiers very, very bad. But then they want to show love to Earl Swin, not knowing that Earl Swin was a spy for the Nazis. Check it out. Yes, that Earl Swin. The old Sinbad movies and all that. We showed him love. You know why? It's because he looked like those who was running the scenarios. And I know that the people now running stuff, it's not just whites, it's blacks. I was looking at the Supreme Court. I just like, oh my God, this Thomas and them. I used to thought that the Supreme Court was held very accountable, and they just, the love of money, man. And love of money ain't just rich people. There's some rich people who doesn't love the money. It's some poor people who loves money. They just don't have it. Let some money appear on the ground and see how they act. They push you and kick you over trying to get that dollar. That lets you know that's the test. Drop some money on the ground and see how that's hey, that's gonna be a new challenge. Drop some money on the ground and see how someone acts. If they don't say to you, hey, you drop some money, they love you more than they love the money. If they pushing you over and trying to get the money, talking about they just playing, no. They wanted that money. They love that money before they love you. I'm just being honest. Because love is an action. It's not just words, it's not an adjective, it's an action. You can hear people tell you, I love you, I love you, I love you, and don't do nothing about it. They don't see they don't empathize with you. They don't see where you're coming from. I keep telling people when I be driving, I see a memorial on the sidewalk, I really feel sad in my heart for that family that lost some loved ones. And this is a memorial that they put out there. So they lost one. There was a guy here in Ohio that died in prison because they said he was a prison guard in the concentration camps. He was found not guilty here, so they sent him to Israel and he died in prison. And he was innocent. But see, we don't know that, they go by the tales, but guess what? I was always told you don't run if you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's 10 toes down. Why did they extradite him back? He should have not went back. I'm just being honest. I ain't trying to sound cruel, but if he said he was in concentration camp. Oh, and he was in, but he had to go back, and you got to face it. Because guess what? The concentration camp watched people get murdered, man. Now, was it good? No. Black slavery, none of that. Slavery, the mishandling of humans, to put them on there, raping of women and children. You think that kids being molested just started in this generation? It's some foul people out there, man, and they smile in your face and act like they so innocent. Cherry pie serving you ice cream a la mode, and don't even understand that us black folks learn. See, the rest of Americans is about to learn. Black folks learn. They were smiling in their faces and they put these masks on and come and burn your home and take out the main person so that way you can come and depend on them some more. Oh, baby, I heard about your house being burnt down. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Well, we're going to bring you some lumber. We're just going to make it where you make payments on it. It's a shame you went through that. The whole time. And America is about to go through that because karma is a mud. It's a boomerang. Y'all going through it now. You're starting to feel the front. Now we call them out as the big incorporations and all that. No, what it is it's that pressure of somebody with their knee in your neck. You want to bring cases up on you. I'm praying for my man Carl Loomis because he ain't no doctor. When you see a doctor working around construction, man, it's not no doctor, but he supposed to did his own records. I wouldn't even know what the if I was to fill it out. If you said what? You hurt your lateral. What's that? I don't even know how you write that. That has to be a medical specialist. But the thing is that it's hidden agendas. That's just a smoke screen because really the disliking of he's able to bring people together and they have a god of good times. And people want to, and there's somebody who's in a high place and say, oh, I don't like them. They did that to Jesus' first cousin, John the Baptist. What did he do to anybody? But somebody in high places, and they was like, oh, be nice to him. He's going to offer you a gift. And when he offers you a gift, you tell him you want the head of John the Baptist. You see how hateful that is? You got to really hate someone for you to send even your child to go tell it's like the president, sing for him, make him feel good. He's going to offer you a gift. He does this all the time. But when he offers you a gift, don't you ask for no dress or nothing. You say you want the head of John the Baptist. And the king laughed, but I'm like, y'all have to be some seditious people. If I was a king and I've been like, you want what? The head of John the Baptist. You know what? You and your mama need to go in that prison. Matter of fact, put him in the coldest part. I'll be known as you want to wish something on this man. I heard that he only do is eat honey and grasshoppers, and you want to cut his head off as a birthday gift, and that's what they did. But who am I? Because the thing is that you have to understand, all of us want to be wealthy. All of us want to have some monies. There's a lot of lottery ticket buyers. I'm not one of those ones. I'm not a lottery ticket person. But they say, well, you won't know unless you play. Well, that's just like I'm going to tell you like this. You won't know unless you play. Let's start our own company. Start businesses. Stop complaining about the corporations. Go back to the ways. He was before my generation, but I still think that his words are iconic. Don't ask what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Let's get some businesses started. An LLC and stuff. An LLC takes just as less money as it is for you to buy a lottery ticket 3 to 4 times a week. I'm just saying it. He said lottery is taxes for the poor, but instead of waiting for something to hit pot, you can take that money and invest in the LLC. Start making, there's grants for people who, if you want to have a job of just studying butterflies, all you got to do is take pictures, fill out a grant, and they will pay you to look at butterflies. We got to do something than to cry about it, because misery loves company. And the only thing it does is attracts other spirits that don't want to try to do nothing. And now you got 2 nothings sitting there not doing nothing. Carson, remember, y'all be good to yourself and be good to others. You never know what the other person's going through and thought. And remember, we'll spend 2 hours listening to you, then 30 minutes at a eulogy. Love you all. That's when you trying to text, that thumb getting away. But I love when he always say, I'd rather listen to you for 2 hours than to listen to someone saying your eulogy for 30 minutes. Only unless you've lived to a long length of life and you passed away naturally and stuff, and was an, you know, I went to a service last Friday. My one of my godmothers, Miss Mary Booth, and she passed, and lived a nice life, and she had videos and had you laugh and cry. You feel me? It's an honor to get to know her and stuff. Just like with my mother, who's a legend out here in this world. She just doesn't know herself because sometimes we focused on what's in front of us right now. If you've been in this world prosperous, that's why I get mad at the government. It ain't no Democrat or Republicans. Let these people get their full monies of Social Securities. If these people is making $5,000 to $6,000 a month, let them get $5,000 to $6,000 a month, even after they out when they have to retire. We don't. How the world you do with American people making us get 1/3 of our monies after you done worked 50 years, but we are worried about a national deficit to the same country that most of our transistors, radios, and computers say made in this country. Y'all kill me, man, and stuff for real. But anyway, Thursday will be the last show for the Roy Anthony Show. Looking forward to seeing what happens beyond that. I will be performing live October 26th, and if you're in the West Coast area, at the American Legion, which is October 26th, which is a Saturday evening show. Starts at 8. Doors $15. Couple of other top comics and stuff. Wednesday is my birthday of that week, so I'm really trying to clown it. You feel me? We're gonna probably tape it so that way we can be able to let y'all see it as well. Carl said, Roy, your last show is Thursday. Yeah, man. The last show for this, you know, with the WO and everything. Richie wants to do some other things. We said we'll talk. I seen my man, Wizard of Oz, had popped in and stuff. We all need to sit down and talk. He said Richie was talking about doing stuff with comic vets. I told him too, you know, but I just don't know where, you know, what the platform is. Talked to Big Hank yesterday. I knew he wasn't gonna probably be on today, but we had talked about which direction we're gonna go. Whoever, you know, we've been getting a few offers, but I told Richie I like working with the guys that we were working with, all vets and non-vets, you know, American people in other countries, you know. Remember, God is closer to you than your own mouth. If Big Hank was in here right now, y'all keep me in the loop. Yeah, for most definitely. Big Hank would say, God is not to be mocked. What a man reaps, that's what he saw. If you plant hate, you're gonna receive hate. Plant love, you receive love. It's not feminine to tell somebody that you care about them. Like Carl Loomis says, sometimes it's best to listen to somebody for 2 hours than to hear their eulogy for 30 minutes. You sitting up there just as guilty that you didn't give them a chance. God is closer to you than your own mouth. He is, for real. I can say, Jesus, forgive me of my sins, come into my life. I do not feel perplexed or anything like that. I do not feel embarrassed and stuff. Machoism is when that person goes to strike and they find that you know techniques that can hurt them and you still say, Jesus bless you. All right, you feel me? I'm Roy Anthony. Welcome to the, thank you for watching the show. We will see you Thursday as we getting prepared to end this chapter of our life and entertainment. God bless you. Smile, because I love you, but God loves you more. Peace out.
Welcome to the Roy Anthony every Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all tap in.